full screen.
All right, who's with me? Who all's out there? What's happening, everybody? What's going on, Angel? How you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Let me go on YouTube on my phone so I can see who's commenting if we get
All
any.
right.
Let's see. I was talking with Lucas a few minutes ago.
Where are you?
About another boot brand, NYX. They do like the Northwestern, like the Wildland Firefighter type of boot.
Okay.
Logger boots.
You're right.
I guess they just released it. So I got the email for it and I get the notification. So I pull the drop down from the top of the screen. And then Lucas texts me, "Hey, did you see Nick's new video?" Like, what in the world? How did you get the notification before me? You're all the way in Michigan and I'm here in Arizona. I'm like, man, you're fast.
Yeah. Hey, Deathlike Reviews. You like the shirt, huh? That's from, I believe that was 2015 when I saw him the last time. I've seen him 3 times. And this one was 2015, I believe. How's everybody doing?
Hey, Carol.
Carol,
hey,
what's up? Drifter, what's
Trey.
happening?
Hey, Ryan.
Lucas White, my man.
Lucas, he's the man.
Mike Concho, how you doing?
Lucas, he's our man. If he can't join us, no one can.
So, just a little introduction. Angel and I we started talking, I don't know, through Facebook Messenger several months ago now, and just kind of hit it off. And, we would talk about reviews and doing the YouTube thing and everything. And I was interested in his company, Nobleman's How do you say it, Angel? I mess it up every time.
Nobleman's Apothecary.
Apothecary, that's it. So, I started watching his videos and I really liked them. And it struck me how different they were than mine because, Angel's like a real laid back guy, and his reviews were longer than mine were and just real laid back and chill. And I really liked that. And, mine are so short and a lot of jump cuts and real choppy, it's just the way I like to do it. But I was at the bar with my wife a couple of months ago and I was sitting around and I'd had a few pops and I was feeling pretty good. And I got to thinking about, what could I do that's different? And I had seen in other, genres on YouTube, other areas of expertise, people would do these live streams, they'd have up to 4 or 5 people on there. And so I thought that'd be cool. And I was like, who can I do that with? And I just thought, it'd be really cool to do it with Angel because we have such different personalities. We live in different parts of the US. Our styles are completely different, but we get along really well. And I just thought it would be a cool idea to kind of blend those 2 styles together for one little show, and we're just going to hang out. We're going to shoot the shit, probably talk about some boots and leather stuff here and there.
Yeah.
But we may talk about anything, this could go anywhere. So it's really just like some buddies hanging out. And that's why I'm so happy all of you guys are joining us because I feel like y'all are hanging out with us, So that's kind of the backstory.
I'm honored to be, thought of as your co-host on this podcast. I think I also am very excited. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. Just like you said, I think we're gonna be able to bridge a gap from. I don't think our styles are too different. We may dress a little bit different, but I think our personalities are mostly very cohesive and similar. So, we both, I think we really strive to be respectful and use like empathy and things like that when we're talking about brands and other group members, like in the Facebook groups. And you know, when you're talking about other people, I think it's always important to use empathy, because it's quick to get carried away with like with just your opinion without trying to put yourself in someone's shoes and try to understand why they said this or why they think that, you know. I think that's awesome, because it makes the conversation that much more interesting, you know, rather than just you know, spitting out your opinion. You can kind of reflect on your opinion based off of like, well, maybe they were trying to say this, or maybe they were trying to say that, you know. The same thing with all the brands, all these new boot brands. There's tons of like content. It's tons of like subject, you know, subject matter that we can cover.
Yeah.
So with these brands, you know, everybody's got their own vision. Everybody's got their own kind of unique style. Yeah, for the most part, you know. I think we have a lot of good subject matter that we can cover, and hopefully add some intangible value to the boot community, you know.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, as you and I have talked, I've reached out to a lot of industry insiders, let me put it that way, you know. And we're going to have some guests on the show, you know, as often as we can, honestly. But yeah, we've got a handful of them lined up already, so that'll be coming soon.
Definitely, that would be awesome. We have, I mean, there's like you're doing all the homework to talk to all the brands, all right?
Yeah,
I know a few brands, you know, but we also talked about how there's the cowboy boot community, and then there's like the heritage boot community, which is like the Red Wings, and Lucas knows exactly what I'm talking about, because he's right there with me. Like he's got a nice collection of Red Wings, and he's also got a nice collection of Luqueses. So I think it'd be fun to kind of mend those two communities together and kind of help bridge that gap, because as you know, as time goes, I mean, those communities, without even trying, they are like heading towards one another. Yeah. So maybe not the cowboy boot community. The cowboy boot guys are kind of like, nope, we like our cowboy boots. We don't like shoelaces. Yeah. But I see a lot of the guys in the heritage boot community kind of leaning in towards cowboy boots and Western boots. And, you know, in those communities, like on Instagram, there's a lot of talk about how much more heritage is a boot than a cowboy boot.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty damn heritage, you know. That's you know, the very first kinds of boots when you think about old American type of, you know. Where was I going? I lost myself, but yeah, I think I know what I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And you know, here's a little known fact about me. I don't think you even know this, Angel, but in the mid to late 90s, I actually ran a Red Wing shoe store for my parents.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now we weren't branded as, it wasn't a franchise, so we didn't get to put Red Wing as our name.
Okay.
But we exclusively sold Red Wing boots.
A retailer.
Yeah.
Okay, a dealer. Okay.
Yeah. And so for several years, because when I was in high school and in college, around here, it was very popular. All of the, you know, like frat boy guys, you know, myself included in that group. Everybody wore the Red Wing Pecos Roper boot. I think it was 1155 was the
that's number. the brown one. Yep.
Yeah. And that's just what we wore for years, you know, and that was it. And we would, you know, we'd go out in Wranglers and cowboy hats, and but we'd be wearing those. Now, granted, that was coming right off the heels of when Justin Ropers took over the entire world, you know. So being a Roper boot, it wasn't that far removed from the cowboy scene at that time.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I wore Red Wings exclusively for probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 years.
Wow. I mean, that's how I honestly, I mean, I've worn boots for work, for, volunteering at my local fire department, but those were all like tactical boots with like a soft a plastic composite toe. It's got the running sneaker sole on it.
Right.
There's no like real anything that stands out as far as like quality. But, I started watching, the boot guy on YouTube. That's what got me hooked. I was watching that guy's videos on repeat. My wife's in bed next to me, and I'm watching on my phone before bed, and she's like, "Oh God, you just watched that one." I was like, "I know, but it was so good."
Yeah. Hey, how many of you guys watching this? How many of y'all lay in bed watching boot reviews on YouTube with your significant other, thinking you're crazy? Because I know I do it every night.
Years ago, that was it. Now we have the TV with the YouTube app. Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. She's just like, whatever. I want to sleep. Turn the volume down. I was introduced to like the whole mock toes, the 6-inch, the 8-inch, the Thorogoods, the Red Wings, a lot of just mainly, lace up work style heritage. And then I started learning about the heritage style of boots, which were like, they're not as comfortable. These are not designed to be on your feet.
Right.
But that's where like the heritage boots, the traditional construction of a heritage boot, like a Red Wing Iron Ranger, and the traditional construction of a cowboy boot kind of, they kind of meet right there because they're both leather insoles. They have, depending on the midsole, some have cork, some have just a straight to a leather outsole. But, that's where you start to learn the benefits of traditional construction, the leather molding to your feet, the breathability of it, the natural benefits of a traditionally built whatever kind of boot, which is mainly leather, a little bit of like a metal shank and stuff like that. And then I started getting into.
Go ahead.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying it.
It's interesting though, because even with a really traditional boot, with a hard leather insole, if the arch is in the right place, man, that boot's really comfortable in my opinion.
Yeah. Every brand, every like model, like the foot like the last, which is what each kind of like model shape of a boot is designed around. They all take a different sizing for your foot,
Yeah.
So, that's the one. So, okay. So we're going from the lace ups. Then I started learning about like engineer boots, which is it's a pull on boot it's got a lower strap to tighten down on your instep, and then the upper strap, which is, I don't know what people use that for, but it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, those are weird. I don't know about all that. And then I started watching. I'm like, maybe I'll give it a try. So I tried a pair of those, and that was like the first in higher heel height, and I started learning the benefits of like a real arch support, and that's a different type of arch support because of the shape where your heel comes up, the heel of your foot is up here and the ball of your foot is down there, so you get that arch support there. But then there's other brands like Nicks and Whites where they actually include they have separate pieces that they cut and shape to add between the leather outsole and the leather insole. They sandwich down like a wedge almost that adds extra arch support in between. So it's all internal, and you can actually get a decent amount of arch support with a lower heel height. So that's one thing to kind of talk about.
I'd be interested in trying something like that because I've had a lot of, I won't go into all of them, but I've got bad foot issues that that cause me a lot of pain if I don't wear the right footwear. And cowboy boots are perfect, but it's such a different, you kind of alluded to it, the arch support in a boot is so much different than like an orthotic that you would put in a tennis shoe. Those to me just feel like a big hump right under the middle of my foot. Whereas with the heel on a cowboy boot, the way everything angles downward, your heels elevated above your toes. I don't know. It just, that is the most comfortable thing for me to wear.
Yeah.
It's so much different than most shoes or running shoes or other types of footwear that, are offering arch support. It's just a different type. And to me, those are usually really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'll if I were to say, like, if I were to a nice, maybe, I don't know, $100 pair of sneakers,
Mm-hmm.
I go to work or I go to the gym or do whatever I do. Um, my foot is only going to last a few hours
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
And that's in my experience with going to work in a company that was construction, but they didn't have like a policy that was like, you need to wear sneakers or you need to wear work boots.
Right.
So we wore sneakers a lot of the time, especially out here in Arizona, because it's a lot cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing them to cheap work boots. So wearing sneakers with, arch support and all this athletic, this and that, going to work. And then this is the most important part where I learned the most was time and time again, years, like, just, I can't even count, like 10 years, let's just say 10 years, going to work and then going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, you got to run errands. You're going to,
Mm-hmm.
you're done with work. You had a nice 10-hour day. Then you
Mm-hmm.
got to go to the grocery store and then like Walmart or another store.
Yeah.
And like your feet are like crying. You're like, I just turned into the biggest grump after work, and I didn't know what it was. I was like, I just got bad feet. I don't know,
Yeah.
Well, after trying like a quality pair of boots, it took me, it went away. Like that whole being antsy, like going to the grocery store at 7:00 after work, you're just antsy. You're like, I just want to get out of here. Whatever. Yeah, get it. Cereal. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You want anything, honey? No. Let's get it. Let's go. And but now I have the patience because I have the comfort,
Right.
and my feet are not experiencing foot fatigue. So that's also one of the biggest benefits I've seen for wearing very supportive types of footwear.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, one thing I've wanted to ask you, because you're like really into denim and stuff, and that's like a world that I don't know anything about. How did you kind of get into that scene?
Well, I honestly, I don't think I've ever been asked this before, but I think Boot Guy was one of the first videos that I heard the term selvage denim. I think it was a pair of Chiano Farmer denim that he was wearing. And I think it was a review on the denim. And I was like, well, okay, this guy's, he does a lot on like different types of work pants, like Carhartt, double leg work pants and stuff like that. But he was talking about selvage, and he was wearing like a heritage style boot. I think it was like a Wolverine 1000 mile or something. But and then I started like around the same time, started getting into Instagram. And I started noticing like all these like Red Wing boots, and these guys were wearing this denim that was like the cuffs were rolled up. And I'm like, wow, what is that? Like, there's like an interesting detail there on the side there. And I'm looking at my pants. I'm like, no, my pants don't have that. What kind of denim is that? Is that like a certain brand or? Well, it's literally just what it is. I mean, well, there is a huge denim community, like a denim head community. Search that hashtag if you want, denim head.
Okay.
I'm getting something that's saying my internet connection is unstable, so bear with me if I start.
You're a little choppy, but just for a second.
All right, so I checked on Instagram and I started seeing just a bunch of this similar looking denim, and it just kind of opened a can of worms for me. I just learning like there's different styles of not styles but methods to make denim. Some the more common type that we see in like most department stores is like a mass produced denim. It's a little bit lower quality, Most of it is like a stretch denim, which is, I mean, we all can agree stretch denim is the most comfortable,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, but
So,
yeah, there's just a lot to learn when you get into um, denim, and you there's a whole community, so it's just a can of
yeah.
worms, and it's been a journey. It's been a fun journey learning, and just there's one brand that I'm just very close with, Brave Star Selvage. I always kind of mention them in the groups, in the Facebook groups and stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, that's probably the one denim that you can always catch me in. And it's a small company, and they outsource production to. It's a United States factory where they make it, but it's done at a smaller batch. And the way the selvage denim is woven is on a narrow loom, so you only get about 4 or 5 feet of this fabric woven, whereas like a stretch denim or like something you'd find in the department stores, just kind of like a 8 or 10 foot wide, like a carpet sized roll. And
Right.
obviously you get more of a, what's the word, yield from that type of weave,
Yeah.
So I just started noticing, and there's just a lot more details that you can kind of play with and just add little touches to your style and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Right.
But it's not something that like people can just go and get into, because it's not cheap. It's like a nice pair of boots. It's an investment, and sure, you can throw your money at any boot brand and just that doesn't make the best quality, and you can do the same thing with denim.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's always a give and take. I mean, some things are, it's like anything else in the world. Some things are, you're buying the name more than anything else.
exactly.
Other things you're paying for really good quality. It's just weeding
the
through all the different brands to figure out what is what.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you find your balance, whatever you're comfortable with, and it's like right now I have one pair of denim pants that I am like, that's my go-to, my everyday pair, and it's got some incredible fades to it,
Yeah.
But when I first got them, they were dark, deep blue, like almost black.
Yeah.
But they're a thick, heavy weight, and as you wear them, they kind of mold your body, and with the bends of your knees and the bends of your hips, around your butt, all that, they're super comfy. So it's just like boots. But yeah, it sucks because there's a lot of brands that are doing the same quality as, a more affordable brand, but either they've been around longer or they've carved out a niche for themselves in this category. And that's like the fashion side of things, where it's like you're paying for the name.
Right.
Nikes and Jordans, all that same stuff,
Yeah.
They do the same quality as you could get from a pair of Adidas that you pay $40 for, but it's the market, and it's funny because like I was at I think the gas station, and I saw a kid in line, like a teenager in line with their parents, checking out. And it's like the kid had a pair of socks, and it was like Champion, that brand Champion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they probably didn't have the money for it. Maybe they did, but their chances are they probably were like, I want those socks, I want those socks, mom and dad. It's the same thing as when you're an adult. It's like either my friends are going to like it, or the way I see it is I like what that person stands for. I like what that brand stands for, So there's different morals and values that we use to kind of push us to support that brand,
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Angel, is there anything else you wanted to hit on about like where we may take this channel going forward?
I honestly, I want to be able to talk to boot makers. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. If we can do something like that,
Yeah.
and ask questions. Whereas instead of like watching an interview, me being in there and kind of asking, because I'm a curious George. Like I have so many questions.
Yeah.
I
And then
think it
we
would
can
be
get the audience, they can ask questions as well. So
yes,
really
exactly.
cool.
And we can look and see like, hey, yeah, that's a good question. Lucas is asking this, or the drifter is asking that.
Well, we won't answer anything Lucas asks, but anybody else.
Yeah, well, Lucas probably knows the answer. He's just probably asking to like just be seen.
Well, I know one thing that I am gonna do, and people may like it or they may not, but it's just something I wanted to do, is I'm going to end each of these with an album that I think you should go listen to. And so I'm going to attempt to share my screen here.
Before we wrap up, don't you have an announcement you need to make?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right after this.
Okay.
That's going to be the very last thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So let's see. Share my screen.
Oh, my YouTube channel is Nobleman's Exchange on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. So I've got a few videos, mostly boot reviews. I think they're all boot reviews. There was like a shoelace boot review, a shoelace review. Good friend of mine, Pisgah Range, military grade paracord.
I'm trying to share this stupid screen. It's not wanting to work. What am I doing here?
I've had a lot of fun watching Nick, like how you were saying, our styles are very different. And you were like, oh, you're always laid back and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but I can kind of drag on. Once I get into details, like I'll turn a boot review into like a 50-minute video. And I'm like, oh, nobody's going to watch this. Whereas you're like straight to the point. And I'm like, man, I should probably do that. I probably get more people's attention doing it that way.
Just different styles, man. Can you see my screen here? Is it on an all music thing?
Yeah, Robert Earl Keen.
Okay.
Piece of Sky.
All right, now I figured out what the hell I'm doing. Robert Earl Keen Jr. is a classic Texas. He's a Texas singer-songwriter. It's kind of country, kind of folk music, a little bit of kind of roots rock in there. It's really cool stuff. He's made a bunch of albums, but this one is my favorite, and it's, in my opinion, his best one. It's got some great songs on it. Everybody should check this album out. So I'm pretty sure you can, it's on Spotify, all of his stuff's on Spotify, but if you wanted to buy it, you can get it on Amazon, probably Walmart. I don't know. This stuff's pretty readily available, but this is an awesome album and everybody should check this out.
Oh, I'll have to, I got a nice leather shipment in. I think this will be a good kind of music to get going in the background.
He is a phenomenal storyteller in his songs. It's just awesome. In fact, my favorite song of his is not on this album, but I'll go ahead and mention it. It's called Mr. Wolf and Mama Bear. And it is the wildest thing. It's almost like an Animal Farm type deal where he's telling this story about his town and a bunch of weird stuff that went down, but everybody's named after an animal so that nobody really knew who he was talking about. It is like, it's my favorite song ever. So check that song out as well. But this is probably his best album, in my opinion. So.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. No, I'm definitely going to check that out tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I've got some work to do tomorrow, and I'll be out here sitting at the leather bench, getting some belts done, man.
All right. So, is everybody ready for the drawing? For the Rujo Boots, we had about 100 people that entered. And what I did is I took everybody's name and I put it in a randomizer. And I'm going to share my screen right now again. And we will hit the randomize button and see who wins.
Drum roll.
So a lot of times I'll see people do this online and they'll do like 3 rolls. I'm not doing that. I'm going to click it one time, and whoever is the top spot, they win the boots. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Angel? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Randomize. Demon by Design. Demon by Design. You win the Rujo Boots, buddy. So what I need you to do is I need you to email me at lonestarboot.reviews@gmail.com. I think you know that email address already, but email me there and tell me your size and what style you want. You're going to need to go to rujoboots.com. I'll put that link in the description. And so you need to just tell me what model you want, what boot, and what size, and then send me your address and everything. And I'm going to be in contact with a representative at Rujo, and we're going to get them mailed out to you. So, congratulations. Demon by Design.
Congrats, man. Oh, if I want to just say one thing, I was talking with Rujo, in the comments, and they had a photo on one of their posts on Instagram today. Was they have their like 4 different leathers. They have their suede, they have their worn, then they have their ostrich exotic, and then they have their the calf skin. And I asked them, the worn look, is that cowhide? And they said, yes, it is cowhide. So just so you know, that's cowhide, and it's not calf skin. So
yeah, I think it's kind of like crazy horse or Apache leather, some companies call it. I think it's similar to something like that. Not quite like a nubuck, just kind of a, somewhere in between a nubuck and a suede type look.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I like that look,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten around to getting like a worn, like Lucchese does like a stone wash to some of their boots.
Mm-hmm.
And I've liked that. Who does, there's a boot, I forget which brand it is. I don't know if it's Dan Post or they do like a worn kind of boot, and I've always thought it was a cool looking boot. But
yeah, I've had a couple. I've got a pair of Ariats that are like that, and I like it. I think it's a good look. It's definitely one that shows a lot of wear. That usually you can take your thumbnail and scratch it, and you can see on the boot leather. So it gets a lot of those kind of character marks on it. But then you hit it with a little boot oil, and all that goes away. So
yeah.
But
all boots look good with a little bit of wear in them,
Absolutely.
A little bit of wear, but you can tell that they're still taken care of and maintained.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. All right, well, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this first episode of Live with the Toe Bugs. I appreciate everybody jumping in the chat with us. Oh, what?
Are you wearing boots?
I am not.
Okay, I was going to ask
earlier.
Okay.
Earlier?
Oh, you already had dinner and all that stuff too.
I was wearing my Hondo 2645s today.
Oh, the rough outs. Those are nice, man. Those are really
Love
nice.
these boots. And look at this freaking sole, man. I've had these for months and months. I don't know if that's going to come through very well. This is like the longest lasting sole of any boot I've owned. It's crazy. That's what I was wearing. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing my number ones.
Chisos. There you go.
Dusty.
I saw you had your coffee mug to match.
Oh, yeah. Well, this has, it's not coffee. It's actually a little bit of ginger ale and Chardonnay.
Oh, there you go.
No beer.
A little
just
spritzer.
Steal my wife's wine and hide it in the Chisos.
There you go.
Mug.
Okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you again, everybody. Thanks, Angel. I had a lot of fun. This is going to be a great show. And
this is going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for everybody for joining us, man. I'm surprised. I mean, this is good. This is really good.
Yeah, this
We're
was
gonna have a
fun.
lot of fun.
Yep. Okay. Well, that is going to do it. We will talk to y'all next week. Sound good?
Yes. Same day, same time, or
Yeah, let's do same day, same time for now. If you're
Sweet.
good with that, Angel.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am. Well, it's